Let's make a drip drawing inspired by the artist Jen Stark. Jen Stark is a contemporary artist who lives in Los Angeles, California. She is known for her colorful and psychedelic art. Let's learn a little more about her. Jen Stark creates complex paper sculptures. And her style has a vibrant drip aesthetic. Jen Stark is interested in color theory, which is the way colors affect each other when you put them together. She is inspired by pop-up books, paper engineering, kaleidoscopes, and the work of other artists. Her drip art is dynamic, radiant, and creates the illusion of movement. She has painted several murals like these. One is in the Facebook headquarters office, and the other is in Culver City, California, which is in Los Angeles. She even created animations and artwork for the stage at the MTV Video Music Awards in 2015, which was hosted by Miley Cyrus. If you have the printed copy, you can go ahead and outline the lines that are on the printed copy with a black marker. When I'm outlining, I'm going to go over my line a second time and make it a little bit thicker. This will allow my shapes to really stand out when I add more lines inside of them. So I want to be able to see the edge of my drippy line shape. If you happen to have a thicker black marker, then you can also use that to make it have a thick outline. Or you can just go over it a second time to do the same thing. Now that I've outlined the drippy line shapes, we're going to fill in those shapes with more drippy lines that are repeated. These lines follow the shape of the original drippy line. Notice that the thicker lines stand out from the thinner lines on the inside. That's why it's really important that you outline the shape lines a little bit thicker so that they really pop out. So I'm going to work one shape at a time. So let's focus on this one here. I'm going to follow the line with my finger and practice the next line that I'm going to make. Then you can just use your black marker for this, and I'm going to follow the shape with my marker. I'm going up and down and just following the curves of the line below it. So it's like we're making a second shape. Then I'm going to go again and make another row. Up and down. Just look at the last line that you drew while you do this. And as I keep going with a new line, my line starts to change a little bit because it's getting a little bit smaller and I'm starting to run out of space. But as long as I look at the line below, I can try to follow the shape as best as I can. Now I've reached the edge of my paper here, so I could draw a little bit of the next line there. Then I'll pretend like it goes off of my page, but I'm not going to draw a line there. I'm just going to continue it where I have room, and I could fit probably one more line there. So there's one of my drippy line shapes. I'm going to move on and do the rest. Sometimes your lines will bump into each other. This line here is bumping into the shape above it. That's called overlapping, and we need to think about what is in the front and what is in the back. So watch as I do this next line and I get over to that spot. So when my line touches this shape above it, I'm going to stop and hop over. I'm not going to draw my line through it, because I want it to look like that line is behind the shape. So I don't want to draw my line through it. So again, with this next line, it's gonna stop there because it bumped into the shape above it, and it's going to stop there, and I'm going to skip over the shape above it and draw my line after. Once you've drawn all of your lines, think about what colors each shape will be. So Jen Stark loves to use bright colors, but she also likes to use black and white. You could use rainbow colors on a section, you could use black and white, you could use all warm colors on a section, and then maybe all cool colors. It's up to you. You are the artist here, so think about the colors that you like. One tip that I have for you is planning. So I'm going to make this section rainbow. So I'm going to put a mark in each space that will tell me what that color is. So notice that I have red, orange, now I'm using yellow, then green, turquoise, blue, violet, then I'm adding pink at the end. At the top, I'm going to repeat my pattern and just use red again. That way, when I go to color, I know that this whole line here is going to be red. Then the whole line above it will be orange. If I went ahead and did it without planning, there's a chance I would mess up my color order, and I might not be very happy about that. So we know that Jen Stark likes to use black and white, so another pattern that you could use is black and white. So if I used white here, I'm just gonna leave it blank, not put a dot or a line in it. But then my next line would be black, so I'm gonna put a line there. White, black, this would be white, and then this one would be black. Sometimes it gets a little bit confusing when you get to the top, but you'll have to look at what section is below it. So this one looks like it will be black, then white, then black, then white. So go ahead and plan where your colors go before you color it in. Once you've planned where your colors go, then you can go ahead and color in your sections. So I put red here, so I'm gonna go ahead and color in my section here red. And I'm trying to be as neat as I can when I do this so that I don't go over the line and get into a different section. My next color in this pattern is orange. So I'm getting my orange out and coloring that one in. I finished coloring in my drippy lines. One thing that you can do to your project is cut out the bottom edge in the drippy line shape. One thing that makes it easier is cut off the extra edge of your paper. Notice that I'm cutting around my drippy shape, but I'm not cutting right next to the black line yet. So I'm just getting all the extra white paper off, and that way it will make it easier for me to cut closer to the black line. So I don't want to leave it just like this. And I'm going to leave the black outline around the bottom edge here. I'm trying to cut very close to that outline and go around the drippy shape as best as I can. Notice that I'm cutting very slowly and carefully. I'm going to speed up the video. I want you to take your time so that your cutting looks your very best. Okay, so I'm all done with my Jen Stark drip drawing. I can't wait to see what you create.